What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little while, y'all. Today is Friday. By the time y'all see this, it'll be Saturday. And I just figured it is like about time that I because I was consistently uploading for y'all, and then I stopped, and then life happened. So people were asking, and if you follow me like on TikTok or any other social media, you probably already know. But we're gonna do a quick life update, and then we can get back to the regular scheduled program. I will upload this on Saturday for y'all. So when y'all see this, this will literally be in real time. 2 weeks ago, tomorrow, Saturday, April 6th. Yes, will mark 2 official weeks that your girl moved to Texas. I did start a vlog for y'all, but it happened so fast. I did not vlog at all. Sorry, y'all. Life just happened too fast for you girls. So prior to I don't know exactly where it started, but long story short, y'all have heard me talk about moving to Texas for years. It's always been a thing. Fast forward, some of y'all know all the stuff that I was going through with my job, my school, and everything was just happening, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward through that, I got into a relationship with a young man who lives out in Texas. And we were in a long distance relationship. I had even, before I knew, I was telling him like I wanted to go to Texas, blah, 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 blah. He was like, well, when you finish school, come out here. Y'all, also when I was in the middle of school, I was also fighting for my life in school. And I was just fighting the demons of like, I'm taking this class to like give everyone else the validation of who I am. Because while I was going, because I wanted certain skills, I think for me it was more so like trying to prove to people that it wasn't like I just wasn't like a screw up. And at that point, I had just given up on trying to like prove that to people. And y'all know I'm not a school girly, but I had a 96 in one class and a 99 in the other class. And I was just kind of toying with the idea of like how and I would make the move. I came out here to see my boyfriend, and I ended up pushing my flights back, which naturally meant I had to push everything else back. And then by the time I got home, I was like, babe, don't know how much longer I could do long distance. He was like, as soon as you finish school, you can come out here. So I'm like, okay. So that was kind of the plan, which would have put us to the winter of next year. Then my apartment sent us a letter that they would be selling the complex. Boom, boom. So I was like, okay, this is about to be a nightmare. But I just, my lease was almost up, and my plan was to kind of do month to month there until I finished school. However, they sold the complex. It was going to become almost triple what we were paying for the rent. Everything was going to change. Everything was going to change. So they started just doing like weird stuff. A bunch of stuff happened. Long story short, I got a notice on like a Thursday that I had to move out. I had 24 hours to vacate. Boom. In this realm of time, I had talked to my mom, I talked to my siblings. I had been praying and like diligently seeking an answer about what to do as far as moving to Texas. I had kept saying, yeah, my friends were like, girl, we know you go to Texas, we know you moving to Texas, whatever. So I was praying, and literally 2 days before I got this notice, 3 days before I got the notice, I said like one of the most diligent prayers I've ever said, very detailed. I was asking for what I wanted. I was asking God to financially make it happen so that I could just move to Texas when my lease was up. I would be done with my classes. I could have just came here and started the next classes. Boom, about a day, maybe 2 days later, I got an email. The email said, hey, there's gonna be a deposit of XYZ. At this point, I had not even filed my taxes. My taxes still in my file, actually. However, you're gonna get a deposit. I said, okay, God. The next morning I woke up, well, it was afternoon, woke up to that letter on my door. And the day that I had to be out was the same day that the deposit would clear my account. And I sat down and I said, God, you've been showing me thing after thing. Like literally, y'all, like when I came back from Texas the first time, I almost missed my flight home. I had to book 3 train tickets to get back home. It was just one thing after another. While I was in Texas, my friends were like, girl, just stay there. You started over. My mom was like, you know, you have started over enough times. If you want to start over again, you know, whatever. My sisters didn't think I was coming home. Everybody, literally, I told them, I did not want to go home. However, he was like, you're in school. You're doing good in school. Like, go to school. So I said, God, if you want me to move to Texas, make this process easy for me. Y'all, I literally called my homegirl. I called my mom first. I let her know what was going on. She said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go to Texas. She said, huh? I said, I'm going to go to Texas. She said, are you sure? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I'm going to do this, this, and then third. Now, if y'all know, I lived in Florida prior to moving back home. So I still had an entire apartment worth of stuff at my mom's in Kentucky. I said, we already have, and it's funny because I already had plans that weekend to drive to Kentucky to get my things from her. That way, the month later, it would be like end of May-ish, that I would move out here and just never went back. So then I called my job and I was like, hey, this is going to be happening probably sooner than later. Can we, you know, get somebody in the train, blah, blah, blah. They were like, yeah, we got some new people. Cool, got the letter on my door. I called my job. I said, I'm leaving tomorrow. And they said, okay. I said, all right, I let my client know, so she already knew. Y'all, when I say I literally sat on my floor for like 20 minutes, I didn't shed a tear. I didn't double guess or like, and y'all know I got anxiety. Your girl be overthinking everything. This wasn't one of those things. Like everything just started to happen for me effortlessly, peacefully, without worry, without caution. I texted a couple people that I wanted to see. I said, hey, please don't tell anybody, but I'm moving to Texas. I want to see you. I went and saw those set of people. Some of them I wasn't able to see, so I will see them when I go home. But I packed up my house, y'all, on a Thursday. I woke up Friday. Nope, I packed up my house. Mostly everything that I could pack up Thursday. Everything else was organized, ready for me to wake up Friday and go get boxes. I said, damn, I need a truck. I went on Penske, literally good deal on a truck, y'all. The truck was like $1,100, and I had 6 days to do it, and I didn't have to drive it back to Michigan. Get to Penske, y'all. Try to pick up the truck. The truck is not there when it's supposed to be. So I already had a discount from them for like $200. So he gave me another like 20% off or something like that. Long story short, this truck was $1,100, y'all. I paid $710 for this truck, unlimited miles to Texas from Michigan. So I was able to drive from Michigan to Kentucky, Kentucky to Texas. I came home. I packed up the truck. My neighbor came by. 2 of my homegirls came by, and they helped pack what they could. I did the rest. My neighbor from the other building and one from downstairs came and helped me move like the heavier stuff. I sold my couch. Y'all, all of this at peace. Like no racing, no rushing, no feeling like any tension or anything. I didn't tell anybody, any of my friends. I had to be out of my apartment, I think, by 5 o'clock. Literally, I had everything out of my apartment a little after 5. I literally went in there, took a shower and everything before I even went. Then I went to hang out with one of my friends, stayed the night over there, woke up and got on the road. I drove from Michigan to Kentucky, 7.5 hours, no problems, no tiredness, no stress, no anxiety, no road rage. I got to my mom's house, they met me, my dad drove up the mountain. We got there, we ate dinner, we talked, we kikied. I packed up everything out of my house, my mom and dad's house that I had there, and I put it in my truck. I am just a girl, by the way. I just want to say that. Trying to drive a 16-foot truck is no joke, but y'all, literally no anxiety. So, took a shower, went to sleep, woke up, took another shower. About 5 a.m., my parents drove me down the mountain. And y'all, when I say I drove from Kentucky to Texas, one day I stopped 2 or 3 times for gas. that was it. But still, y'all, no worries, no financial stresses. Literally, I've been here for 2 weeks. I've been obviously looking for a job, stuff like that. But even then, like financially, I'm not like stressed out. Like God really has made it clear that this is where I'm supposed to be. I've had numerous job interviews. I'm hoping to hear from one of them really soon because your girl is getting bored. But nonetheless, I drove here. The morning of is when I told my boyfriend that I was actually en route to Texas. He did not know. Only like 1 or 2 of my friends knew. And then they started calling me eventually because they have my location. They were like, "Bitch, where are you going?" I'm like, "To Texas." And some of them didn't believe me, but I've been in Texas for 2 weeks. Still no stress. I do plan on doing something else. Honestly, I don't know if I'll go back to school, y'all. School, myself and school have had a love-hate relationship forever, and I feel like I want to love school so bad, and I just don't. I feel like school is what gives me the validation that I need and I want from other people. And I feel like it's really like, it's kind of making me resent it a little bit. So yeah, so we're chilling. We're in Dallas. I've been able to see some friends. I've been able to eat at some new restaurants. I've been able to just enjoy some decent weather, some also crazy weather. A lot of time to just kind of like think and plan and like really prepare for something, because I just know that literally this whole process went seamless. Like not a single issue until I was already in Dallas at the place that I'm staying at. And even that was resolved so effortlessly. Like, I can't even explain it. I have made amazing friends with the ladies in the office where I'm living at. I've met some amazing people out here. I've had friends tour apartments for me. I have had friends run errands for me. Even before I got here, they were making calls for me and running errands and offering to just come with me and be in support wherever I needed them. And I just thank God for my friends. Y'all hear me do that a lot. Even the ones who don't live here, literally, y'all, every single day my family is calling me. If it's not my sisters, it's my mom. It's not my mom, it's one of my sisters or my nephews or my niece. And they're all, they all have their own opinions, but a lot of the adults have let me know that they, they feel like I'm calmer and I'm happier in the place that and I agree. I was having a conversation with one of my friends the other day, and she asked me, and I think for most people who know me, this feels like it should be stressful. So they're always checking on me. They're like, "How are you doing mentally?" And I'm like, y'all, honestly, I am in the best mental place I have been in months. Probably in years, honestly. I'm literally at peace. I'm not saying it's easy, and it's not for everybody. However, I think that this was time for me to move. This was time for me to put me first. This was time for me to just kind of venture out and be my own individual and not let my life revolve around my loved ones. And you know what I'm saying? Like, not let it hold me back, because for the longest I was just like, if I do for everybody else, I don't have to venture out and try it on my own. But I don't have any family in Texas. I do have friends. I have an amazing support system here. And if I ever need them or ever fall into a space where like I need their support or their help with something, I don't have any doubts that they'll do it. And this journey of trusting in God is so serious to me. Y'all, when I got here, I was already approved for an apartment in Houston. And I was gonna go to Houston. And I was like, God, if you want me in Houston, I'll go to Houston. And my friends were like, but you didn't move there to be in Houston. Houston is not even for you, girl. So I was like, you know what, you're right. We're gonna trust in God through this season. So we're still working on trying to like have everything where I wanted in Dallas. However, the job offers and the interviews were happening in Dallas and not in Houston, whereas the apartments were happening in Houston and not necessarily as quick as I want them to in Dallas. But moving to Houston would have required me to move to Houston and then in 6 months move back to Dallas. And for me, that just wasn't worth it. I'm already almost a month in at this point. Like, renting another truck to move 3 or 4 hours or whatever the distance is from Dallas to Houston just didn't make sense for me to do. And I think I can, you know, and it sucks, but like I can afford to make certain choices because it's just affecting me. However, everybody has to do what's best for them. So yeah, that's where we are. I addressed this on TikTok more than enough times. I'm still in a relationship. We're good. We're okay. I know that for a lot of people, they're not super thrilled about that. Oh well, don't know what else to say about that. I'm not gonna keep addressing it. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna keep it a secret. I did not keep the healing from y'all. I did not keep the crying from y'all. I did not keep the downside of life from y'all. I will not be keeping the happy part of me away from the internet. I won't. That man treats me like gold. That man treats me like a princess. So y'all will see it. I don't know how much y'all will see of it on YouTube, which is probably the safest place if you don't want to see it to stay. I do hope that eventually we'll be able to like sit down and make videos, but I'm not sure. And then of course, obviously, as you can see, I cut my hair. I don't know why I still want to cut it some more. I don't know if I will cut it some more. I don't know. But yeah. I don't know if I have anything else to update y'all on. I don't know, but nonetheless, I needed to make this video so that we can move on. And people don't be like, oh, when did you move to Texas? I've been here for 2 weeks now. By the time y'all see this will be exactly my 2-week mark, which will be tomorrow actually. So yeah, if y'all have any questions or anything y'all want to know about the process or what that was like or what life looks like for me or what I went through in any of those situations, leave it down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn the notification on so you get a notification every time I post a video. Bye, babies. Farther than Mexico. Yeah. You still got niggas hard pressed for you though. I know you, shorty.